Up in, makeup on. Let's see. Let's see if I got that chat on. All right, here we go. And Megzilla. There you go. I mean, if you did makeup, your makeup and all, makeup on, makeup in. Come on in. Cheers to you. Cheers to you. Yes, we're already live, but that's not a big deal. I know you know what's up. I know you know what's up with that. Cheers to you, man. I'm still not convinced that we can get this phone much further, but we'll try to get one by the end of the week, man. By the grace of Buddha. Buddha provide. That's what that ended up being my favorite Karate Kid original. You know, you know, what belt is the boy? What mata? You know what I mean? What mata? Oh, this is only for a black belt. Oh, boy, black belt. And then he grabs it out of the bag. Where'd you get that from? Buddha provide. Buddha provide. What's up, Jess? Well, how you doing, boo? Who blocked you? Fuck that shit. Yeah. Fuck everybody shit. But anyways, I don't know who blocked you, Jess, but you're welcome here. You're welcome here, and you know it. What's going on, Meg? I sent you that join in link. If you have any trouble, like, get in the chat. Let's talk about it. I heard you put your makeup on already. You know what I mean? So I guess you're ready to come on up. Yeah, man. Meg has some stories, as you've seen, Jess, and she's worked in the clubs, as you know, Jess, because you've seen. And wow, you know. So she was actually getting ready and kind of bummed out. It's not my fault. My phone is having all these issues. I have got to fix that by the end of next week. Hey, Jessica, who are you going to get another 400 from? Do your Jess Pirate shit. You know what I mean? We'll get a new Google over here. Nah, because my mom's going to be out of town. And it's basically AT&T. They probably have an upgrade for me. I know they do because they called me about it, but I have to go get it. You know what I mean? Maybe I'll just go and walk up there tomorrow and shake them down, and they'll be like, "Yeah, but I need to talk to because we're in a group fucking cell phone plan. I need to talk to her," and I'll be like, "She's in the water, like at the beach or wherever she is." You know what I mean? So, shit. What's going on, Jess? Man, you get in the pool? Oh, you see my thumbnail about me? That was when I was flying. I don't know how old I was, but I was in that Speedos, guys. Speedos. Had to put my big nuggets out up there. You know what I mean? Had to show my nuggets. Some messed up shit they were doing to us in the 70s, brother. Don't go back. Don't go back. It was fucking us. Mm, mm. They weren't. I'm not accusing anybody of anything. That's all. Nah, I didn't say that. I mean, they were like messing with us. You know what I mean? Oh, all right. Here we go. What's up, Meg? Jessica, Meg's in the house. What's up? Hi, how you doing?
You said your phone isn't charging?
It's been dying. I don't know what's going on, but I've had enough problems with this phone. And it's my second one. My first one was 150. This one costs 100. When I go pick up my mushrooms, what happened? They keep calling you all the time. I'm on the bus. I'm trying to be incognito. I'm in the spot. I'm trying to be incognito. They say I'll be there in 5 minutes. I'll be there in 10 minutes. So I dropped my $100 phone and destroyed it on the phone because they kept calling me when I'm trying to just be not existent. You know what I mean? Delivery people can be hung up as if I was like crying about a Big Mac. Come on now. I didn't care. I was waiting. Anyway, so I destroyed that phone. I got this phone. This was all scratchy and, it's not getting better. But now it's not holding a charge.
That's
So I went black on these streams that I'm trying to do, and I just die out.
sorry I missed the invite earlier. I have been all over the place today, trying to do this, trying to do that, and
No. Don't be sorry. Good for you. I would not be here if not for you. You said you put your makeup on, and
I know.
you wanted to come stream. I would.
Yeah,
This time I would not be here. You know what I mean? I just hope that I hold
stuff if you was.
I just hope to hold enough that we can get through. So that's all.
Hey,
What's going on? Where'd you work today?
well, today I didn't act. I don't go to work until I don't have to leave until about 5:30 in the morning. And I've slept enough today. I've slept so much today. Well, in between doing other stuff, I was like,
Right.
I'm going to make myself take naps because I started out, I was going to run errands, going trying to get some stuff I needed for today. And then I came back and took me a nap. I was like, I'm going to get some rest in because I know I have to get up early. I know I'm probably not going to sleep, like tonight, because that's just not how I work.
Well,
And
no, but it
then,
looks like you. Why would you worry about that? You're already refreshed. You've already
yeah,
taken advantage of this day. I can see it. So now you can be productive and use the rest of your hours
yeah.
and just ease into the next phase. I can't wait. You
So
know
then
what I
I got
mean?
got cleaning done, got a bunch of other stuff I needed done today. Took me another nap. Then I got up and now I'm getting my clothes together and everything else because I get to work an 18-hour shift and I'm happy about it. Like, because
Okay.
I'm like, since I
What are you
haven't
gonna
been at
do
the club,
tomorrow? What are you doing tomorrow?
I'm working at the stadium. Excuse me. It's a
Outdoors,
concert.
outdoors,
Concert.
outdoors.
Um, um, now I'm trying to remember the name of this dude. Um,
Luke
Hold
Bryant,
on. No, is it? Wait. Hold.
country guy. Invest in our Somalian empire. Ah, ah, ah. My name is Prince Giaffi Giaffro. Just give me your bank account. I give you 40%. Okay, shekels only. Thank you, sir. It's not
Zach.
important. We don't. What's
Oh,
up? Oh, he's Zach who? Zach who?
Zach Bryant.
Zach Zach Bryan. Yeah, 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 yeah. Of
Okay,
course, of
yeah.
course.
I know I said Luke Bryant. I
I do.
don't really listen to a lot of country music, forgive me. So, hey,
Forgive you. My
hey,
goodness, man.
well, but 18
Nah,
hours on the clock,
nah.
I'll take that. Heck yeah. Shoot, there's been days I've worked 35, 36 hours straight.
Oh no, I love working the like the country, I mean like whatever, the summertime festival, rock and roll market, country, whatever, It's great. It's great. You just go outside, you get your tan, you get your melanin from the sun, you get your vitamin A and D, you feel
Yes.
good, you can get up there. I always drank seltzer water. They were like, why? And then sometimes I'd be like, okay, splash, splash Mountain Dew, but really seltzer water. Because I don't want my stomach to hurt out in the sun. You know what I mean? I don't want a bunch of syrup. You know what I
And
mean?
the thing is, it'll get like 115
For
degrees in the
sure.
shade in Texas, you know what I mean?
For sure.
And
For sure. And I never worked like parking lot people do out in the dust over there and it's just gravel and dust. But I have worked the festivals that were so big that they put it in the parking lot. And then I would have to be over there. And so would the artists. So I would meet some of my all-time favorite artists and they were choking on the dust of being in like a gravel parking lot because this festival would be too big and it was
mhm,
so sad because they'd be like, yes,
right.
hi. Not that they wanted to meet me, but they were nice enough to be like, nice to meet you too. It was so sad. It was so sad.
Yeah. I worked rodeo this last rodeo it's like three weeks a month. In it late February, early March, or well, end of March. And oh my gosh, it's nice. But yeah, the heat'll get you. And they be out in the parking lot, out in, the part I worked this rodeo, because it also has like the livestock show part where they bring in their
Of
cows
course,
and
yeah,
stuff
yeah.
and their cows get graded.
Yeah,
I
people don't understand even what a county fair is basically where they judge your vegetables and your animals. Now, every
yeah,
other thing that happens around it happens around it. You're already going to be there. Let's put some rides, some hot dogs, some beer, some music, some magicians. But don't forget that the county fair is really just how did your squash do this year? How's your goats look? You know what I mean? That's really what it's about. blue ribbon or not. You know what I mean? Like people forget that, but it's still the best part. It's very vibrant.
Yeah, it was kind of fun seeing all the kiddos come through with it with I brought my pigs, I brought my goats, and it's really the kids that I just be like, oh, they
Yeah,
done
yeah.
worked put all this effort into this little animal, and I'd be feeling bad when their animal gets eaten. Not that I'm like a vegan or whatever, like,
Well,
but it's just
obviously, it's headed for the plate, and maybe
no,
yours, right? You'll get bacon, but it's been through like 5 processes already. By the time you get it, it's cured and it's cooked.
true. I mean, I
Yeah.
personally, I'm not like against eating meat or something. I have meat from time to time. I'm not but I don't know how I feel about like eating something I raised as a pet.
Sure,
Just
sure.
I don't know. I guess that's kind of a little different for me anyway. I don't know.
No, look, there's different ways that kids take it, and sometimes when their parents have them go hunt, they get traumatized. But sometimes their parents are like, "That's what I wanted you to do." You know what I mean? Like you have to face this that way. But sometimes it's just kids, like you were saying, when they go to the fair, they're like, "Hey, we've grown this nice big pig. Yes, it's going to be slaughtered, but we're proud of what we did as humans." You know what I mean? And
Okay,
it's going to
okay.
be food. You know.
Which now that you say that, my grandpa and my grandma, they lived right on this lake for years. And I was out fishing, shooting shotguns off the porch and stuff. Like I can bait my own hook with live bait, and
Right.
I can skin, I mean, fillet a fish, cook it, clean it, catch it, all of that myself. And I can't think of a time that I felt bad about like, oh, I just cut this fish's head off. So you know what?
Well, fish. Look, they
Okay,
don't. How many feet? How many feet do they have?
none.
Exactly. So what are you worried about them for? It's
I
not like
can't.
they're
I can't think
bipedal.
the last
It's not
time I.
like they're mammals. They have no feet. To you, it's like a worm. Except it's like, oh, you're a tasty big worm, aren't you? Like, and even though he's looking at you from one eye, and he can't even see you with the other, and that's a mark of food, by the way. A predator has to look this way. When those people are looking like all them other ways, they look like food. They can't
Yeah.
see the flounder. The flounder is my favorite fish. It flies like this. It's got one eye up here. It looks like food.
Yes, they some crazy looking suckers. Them fools. Yeah, we caught croaker and bass and drum and all of that. And I never once was like, oh, let me pet it first before I
Nope.
skin it. Nah, so yeah.
Oh, you'd be kind of twisted if you did. You'd have like a lamb, and you're like, "Let me give you a little hug," and then, that would be kind of fucked up.
Actually, that sounds like exactly what if it was not. But I have to be damn hungry to like, I don't know. This is
No, no.
2024
I've
though,
always
so
thought
like
about
we're
us.
really out here
We
like,
eat a lot. We eat as much.
attacking animals.
We eat as much vegetarian food as we can. Not for any moral reason, but because there are vegetarians in the world. It's kind of cool, like the Mediterranean diet I've always been on in some way. And
Mhm.
the other thing is it's creativity. So I can cook for anybody. We can make you a vegetarian feast. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people don't think about how that's the creative side of food. Come on. What is a steak? Somebody says put Montreal seasoning. Somebody says put a fucking sauce. Like that's disgusting. Like one of those brown sauces on a steak.
Oh, like gravy or
Why don't you
whatever, or
eat
the
your shoe?
Worcestershire.
Why don't you eat your shoe and put some Worcestershire all over it? That's horrible. You know what I mean?
No, I do like bacon. I do like
Well,
bacon.
no, we love every
I,
kind of meat, but it's
yeah,
like it's more of a challenge to like make creative vegetarian food by using like
you're right.
implements, like the Indian spices that we use, the Moroccan spices that we use, the Ethiopian spices that we use. You know what I mean? And then it's like, what's gluten-free food? Well, almost all Indian food is gluten-free as long as you don't get the flatbread. That's the only wheat is wheat, rye, and barley. Those are the only like gluten
Yeah.
carriers, right? I mean, come on. There's nothing. We can make sweet potato flatbread as well. You know what I mean? With cornmeal,
That
by
sounds
the
good.
way, and make it even, snappier. But there's no gluten in corn. There's no gluten in many of these things, rice and beans. So we just do it for the creativity and we lean that way. You know what I mean? It's nothing
Hmm.
about it. We have no morals about eating animals, but we do feel like even when our family is as deep as it can be and there's like 12 of us walking together, what kind of cow are we going to eat? We can't eat a cow. You know what I mean? We have to keep walking. Maybe two turkeys if we had 12 people, maybe one. You know what I mean? So we think like that too. It's better to pick up one of these stray pigeons or one of these cats and just split it up with two or three of us.
My granny used to tell me about how during the Great Depression, they were so poor they had to eat blackbirds. They just shot them right out the sky. I'm like, okay. Thankfully, I never had to shoot me a blackbird out the sky just because I was hungry. I'm
Right,
grateful.
right. But I have like a goose breast in the freezer, you know what I mean? And that's
Geese
probably
are
what your
mean.
whole bird was, you know what I mean?
Geese are mean, and I have no problem with like probably strangling a damn goose.
Well,
They're
it's probably the
mean,
whole bird that you're talking about. And that's what I'm saying is just not to make waste, not to be
right?
weird. Like we wouldn't kill some big boar and leave the rest of it on the side of the road. You know what I
Right. No,
mean?
I
That would
get
be a
that
mess.
definitely.
Just
I'm not into waste.
strangle one Christmas goose and we're good today.
Yeah, because boars are mean as hell.
Well, they're
That'd
too
probably be a
big.
little that
They'll
too,
rot.
and they can
They'll rot while
they
we're trying to
fast
walk away.
too.
They'll rot. I just try to be reasonable about it, man.
Well, yeah, no, I totally agree with you on that. Like, don't kill, something huge, and you try to just feed yourself.
Put your YouTube like link or whatever down there because you're blue and then everybody can sub you up, okay? Please. Stop saying that you're fucking 7 or whatever and no, we don't like the British broadcast service, you fuck. That's so messed up. I know what you said, you bitch. We like Deutsche Welle radio, okay? We like the German shit. We don't like that British bullshit. Come on. We like the good stuff, like Werner Herzog, man. You guys are a bunch of pussies in the rest of the world. Sky? We like Sky 2. We don't like Sky 1. Sky 1 is too weak.
Oh, oh,
Somebody was asking me some shit, and I was like, oh, I do like Odd Future. And then I was like, but what's the other one? And they were like OF or like something else. And I was like, oh, you mean OnlyFans or like, oh, the other one was PH. And I was like, yeah, I do like Odd Future, but I don't know what you mean by PH. And I was like, do you mean where should you follow me or where do I usually visit? Do you want to see my PH?
oh, yum. That just sounds like
I don't know what they were asking. It's not my business.
that one left me a little confused. Maybe
They're
I'm just
crazy,
like
man.
maybe it was
They're
one of those
crazy.
Gen Z kind of thing. I don't know. I'm gonna blame them anyway. Ha!
Well, look, I don't know what they know, but you're very savvy on all that everything's going on.
Yeah,
We have to ask you for advice so,
yeah.
all the
Well,
way around.
I mean, there's some stuff that I'm like clearly like, yes, I have a fix that I can fix it in 3.5 seconds, and then there's some stuff that it's like I'm confused on the directions. What
Sure.
was like? I'm like, wait, what is the outcome that you want? What is it you're trying? What is the end product that you envision? What is the scope of this project? What exactly is it that you want from me?
So you do
Sometimes
have
I'm
you
confused.
basically you have an engineering brain and if somebody's like I need you to do 3 steps to solve the issue, you're right on it. But if they don't know what direction they want to go in on the tree, then what are you supposed to do about it? You
Well,
know what I
see,
mean?
okay, in the IT field, there's something
Right.
called an ID10T error.
Okay.
And I don't know if you're, let's see, where's my,
Well, you could
when you
try to translate it so
write
that
it
we get
down some,
educated.
write it down and look at the paper. It spells out idiot.
Right.
So sometimes you'll have people that'll like, okay, I know when I worked IT at the college where I went to school at, people would call in for some of the most ridiculous, like, and it would always be the same ones would want to, oh, well, my printer only works when I stand on my left foot and pirouette 3 times to the left,
Who's in the
and
background?
then I, like lick my right elbow while simultaneously singing Taylor Swift. Can
I'll tell
you
you
fix
what.
it?
I know what that is, but who's in the background?
Oh, probably my. I'm sorry, it is loud. I should
No,
have
no,
shut the
no.
door.
I'm just checking.
Oh,
No, I was just checking. But
oh,
I'll tell you what
it's
that
that
is.
fella.
That's when they talk about a book of shadows that a person wrote themselves, and they try to give you all the like steps to get to, like, the phase of the moon they wanted to. That's what a book of shadows is. So it's a
Yeah,
recipe book from their home, but they make all these equating, ideas. It's like, well, I think that time I was only wagging my pinky finger, and that's required. And also draw a triangle in the center of the
yeah,
room.
and it's like
And they,
no, what you did is when you went to try to print, you set it to the wrong, not getting it to come out where you want it to come out. If you wanted to print and come out that printer right there, you have to set it to that printer.
right on.
But you can't tell people that when they don't understand, you know,
Right. No, no, I
you just go and
understand.
fix it.
I've been on both sides because when they've hired me in, and you know, excuse me, let's say they just have it like set at a certain ratio, and I feel like the print is too small, and I fix it, and I make it look better for me. And then they come around my station and they're like, "What the fuck did you do?" And I was like, "Well, it looks better for me." And I have a little notepad that I brought up so that when I'm on the phone with somebody, I can take notes and shit. And they're like, "What's that?" And it's like, it makes my job easier or whatever. And it's like, well, that's not what we want. And they just like revert. They press revert and they fuck you up. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because you're just trying to make it more comfortable and easier to do everybody's mutual benefit. You know what I mean? But they can't take it. You know what I mean? They can't take that flexibility. But yeah, the people who don't know why they're sending it to the wrong printer, they just don't have that yet. You know what I mean?
And then, like, okay, I was also recently helping one of the kiddos. They play Phoenix Point. It's a video game. I don't know how familiar you are with it. And you can mod it. Like, it's kind of like cheat codes when we were playing the original NES, okay?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And this one specific mod, I you install it to
Okay.
your computer, but then you have to turn off all the other mods. Then you have to revert it. Then you go through this different app to bring it up, and then hit the mods. It's like why it's so unintentionally. We got it going. I got it going for it, but it was just like, why is it so unintentionally like out off the
Difficult.
wall as far as the directions or what you have to actually do to get it installed? But at
Right.
least we and I made him sit there and watch while we did it, so that way he would know
Man,
you
yes,
know
I've tried that
how to
forever
do it.
because you want to teach whoever you're leading, whether they're your own children or just like associates, you want to tell them there's this whole process. So please stand by me because this is how long it takes. It might take 40 minutes. A part of it might be silent, but you need to do this if you ever want to get to the end. And they never have the patience to do so. They can't just stay there and get through the process, and this is why we
Well,
lose on that. You know what I
it
mean?
took us 3 hours
Yeah.
because I had to kind of try a couple of different fixes, but once we got it going, got it, operating properly, hey, we were good after that.
Right, right, right.
So,
Yeah,
and yeah,
well, that was back on the programming computers, like a Commodore or somebody that, would just get, sort of a
mhm,
keyboard and a monitor, and they would have to program every sort of thing that's going to happen, every program, or at least make it interface with a floppy drive or something like that. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
so they got a lot of accomplishments out of the first. That's what's funny about everything is like weighted wrong. So the first 20 pages of the book, the programming for Commodore or whatever, they'd be destroyed. And page 88 nobody ever saw. It's funny how things are so like front loaded and weighted wrong.
Well, yeah, yeah, yeah. I can see that. Like what you
Yeah.
said, they kind of disperse it out more, disperse it out a little bit better throughout
Yeah.
the book.
No, I mean just everything in the world works like that. Like I said about like in YouTube, if you watch a couple of tutorials, then you just take off. Everybody, I want to smash the learning curve too and just jump as far as you can forward, but you get so much more from, absorbing more of the information and like trying to you do it, with higher quality from the mistakes of the past. You can learn a
Oh,
lot from all
definitely.
those mistakes. Those
Definitely. And that kind of like, I mean, there are resources now that make I get really shut up. Sorry.
No, it's
That
okay.
really
It's okay. No, it's
there
even worse than what you're saying. Eventually, like it'll just tell your brain. You know what I mean? Like you could just dial it,
well now
and it'll just
there's
tell
a
your
lot of
brain how
resources
to.
now out there where like okay, like for example, this game we were working on modding.
Right.
Um, you know, back in like okay, let's say 1985, 1990. You'd have had to gone through this book, gone through that book, try to call up your friend and hey, how did you get it done? Now you can just go on Reddit, you can go on wherever and look up exactly what problem you have. And I can pretty much almost guarantee you there's going to be somebody online who's already posted an answer.
Well, I
So,
guess to be
it
completely
makes it a
honest,
little easier.
when you were talking about 85 to 90, and you're literally talking about NES cartridges, right? The
Right,
thing is, a newer piece of software that can just read every pin, it will tell you everything that's written on that disc. So if there's any like t-shirt, sprites that used to exist or any sort of thing, it'll tell you exactly where it is. It'll just map it all out. So there's all
right.
sorts of non-actionable pieces of like NES cartridge that are sitting there, even though it was 8-bit, like very small at a time, right? Just like random access memory, But
Yeah.
there's still all of the assets are there. So in
Oh, yeah.
2002, you could just put a bunch of pins to it and read the whole damn map. And you would see things that you never were supposed to see because they were just throwaway, and all of this. So that was a much easier, proposition than what you're talking about now. And the reason that they, make you turn off all the other mods and jump through all these hoops, you know what I mean? Like it has to be more difficult now. It has to. Because
Well, I
again,
mean,
if
you
they
still need
have
to, yeah,
trashware, why do you not delete your trashware? That's like a dirty secret or whatever. Like, why do you not delete the trashware?
probably laziness. They just, oh, nobody will find it. Or maybe they want somebody to find it, like an Easter
They
egg. There
want
could
people to
be,
find it, and they also like can co-advertise that with like their people, like they can make a feature out of it, like don't forget to unlock this special little mini game or whatever, and then
right?
show it on the showroom floor, stuff
Have
like
you
that.
been? I actually got to go see a movie yesterday. I
Cool.
got to
What
go.
was it?
I got to go see Deadpool and Wolverine.
Right on, right on. How was that? So that's
Deadpool is my
Hugh
spirit animal.
Jackman and Ryan Reynolds.
I have no idea.
Yeah, it is.
I'm assuming yes.
Yeah, Hugh
Um,
Jackman, Ryan Reynolds. They were on
yeah.
Hot Ones.
Do what?
They were just on Hot Ones. I guess they were promoting the show. I didn't watch it yet. I'll watch it today or later. Let you know.
Deadpool. I liked it. Deadpool is so my spirit animal.
Yeah,
Like,
That's Ryan Reynolds. You know that's Burt Reynolds' son. It's got to be. You know that, right?
really? I did not know that.
You know when he was younger and you could see those pinned eyes. Look
You
at
know
that
what?
and think about it. Think about Burt Reynolds and those pinned eyes.
Okay. Because,
Right?
my grandpa, I always swore looked like Burt Reynolds. I always swore my grandpa looked like Burt Reynolds. I never knew that they were, yeah,
He's Ryan
wow.
Reynolds. He's Ryan Reynolds. Yep.
Wow.
And then you got Wolverine Hugh Jackman.
Okay.
And I guess I don't know if he's Australian or New Zealand. I'm not sure.
I have no idea either. No idea. And but it was a pretty cool little movie. I'm not gonna give it away and spoil it, but they kind of went multiverse, and I'll
Oh
just say
yeah.
that
Oh yeah. Of course. Of course. Yeah. Well, I don't even know, but is that all like is that all I mean, I think Deadpool that's DC, right?
I have no clue.
Huh.
I know Batman. Batman is DC, but I mean,
All I know is that one. Batman is Warner Brothers. I don't know. It's 1990
yeah,
right there.
I I really don't watch many of the actiony superhero stuff like all that.
Right, right.
But you know
I
what? I
love
like
going to the movie
it.
theater, Meg. It's fantastic for me. You know what I mean?
I go about once a decade.
Right, right. Well, when I go, it's pretty funny because I'm like, do I want a huge box of popcorn or do I want a big icy? There's like my two choices. Both of them cost $12. Both of them you would
Damn.
cry about if you looked at the price, but I don't look at the price. I figure like it's part of me going in. So either I'm gonna get a huge popcorn or an icy. I'm not getting both, but one or the other.
I had, let's see. Um, I had some pizza and some funnel cake fries and a
Dang.
root beer.
All right, all right. How were the
This
funnel cake fries?
They were not bad. I
Pizza
mean,
though, I don't know. Pizza was like school pizza, probably.
no, the pizza was actually good.
Oh,
The
like
pizza
Pizzeria
was actually
Uno.
good.
Sometimes they do that. Sometimes they do that.
The pizza was pretty good. Now, I mean, I don't know like what kind of movie theaters, like how they like over there. Like this one, they serve alcohol. They have a full bar. You can,
Right.
and they had wings. So there was people eating wings. They had waiters and waitresses came out and
That's
asked you what
awesome.
you wanted and stuff. And so I'm like, it had all the food, the liquor, all that. I'm not really a drinker like all that. I didn't drink any. All I had was root
No,
beer.
and even if you were and you want to do it that way, they're gonna fleece your pockets. You know what I mean? They will.
Oh
So we
yeah, I'm
have a
sure.
couple in Maryland that are real kind of high class. You can get any liquor or beer or whatever you want and stuff. But it is a trap. You spend a whole shitload of money. It's nice though. They got nice seats. They got seats with, you can kick back. They got cup holders. You can get your wings, like you say, stuff like that, wings and onion rings, and sit back and watch the movies. It's cool.
That was pretty fun. I hadn't been to a theater and shit. I couldn't tell you how long. Probably 2015, maybe something
Right,
like
right,
that.
right. You said it would normally be like a decade between, right?
Well, I mean, I was being funny, but yeah, it's been
I
a while.
saw
Probably, literally, it's been almost 10 years since I've been to a movie. Probably, it's been a while.
I haven't
I need
seen a
to go
bunch of
more.
great movies, but like, I can easily say I've covered the decade. I saw that last Halloween. And I saw I saw a couple others. The Menu, that was funny because there was some people behind me. I saw The Menu and they were incensed about this movie. They were so mad. And I was like, it's so funny that you're so mad about this movie. It's really silly, by the way. This movie is like a total cartoon, The Menu,
I haven't
and they
seen
were
it.
doing like Yeah, I'm gonna present you, the best fucking meal and night of your life, and you're gonna die, you foolish pigs with all your money. Like we've been servants to you, and we're done with you, like from the restaurant industry. So it was hilarious movie, The Menu. It was hilarious, but
It
these people
sounds
behind me were
funny.
so mad. They were like, "Oh," it was killing me, and I was like, where am I that these people could just speak through the whole thing? But they were so mad, it was hilarious.
When my Joe was little,
Mhm.
we had went. What movie did we go to? I don't remember what movie we went to, but there was this guy sitting in the row ahead of us, and it was, Joe was like probably 4 or 5, something like that. Not very old,
What
and
years? What year time period? Because I was trying to think of what you can't remember the movie.
um,
It was 4 or 5.
gosh, he's 21 now, so yeah, that like probably 15, 16 years ago,
Okay, my
and
son who was born in like 2005 is 21, right? So when he was
uh
4 or 5, it's like 2009, 2010.
2003. He was born in 2003. So I don't
Okay,
know,
so
2008 ish.
2008,
No, wait.
2008.
Yeah, around there ish.
Yeah,
And so, um, we were in the movie theater, and he was kind of like, you know, not feeling like
chatting.
dealing with the what you call it, previews and stuff. I'm like, baby, come on, chill out, relax, be
No,
calm. The movie's gonna start.
they
He
don't
had
have, what
popcorn.
is it? They don't have the patience to sit through and watch a movie as
I ended
adults
up
would.
having to take him out of there, take him home because he got
No,
his
you shouldn't
popcorn.
have to. You
And
shouldn't have to.
there was this, let me tell you what he did. He wasn't innocent
I
in
know.
this. There was a man in front of us, an older gentleman, bald head, and I caught him, he'd take his popcorn and he threw it at the man's bald head. Like 3 or 4 times. I'm like, oh my God, no, Joe, if you don't, come on, we're leaving. Bye. Come on. I'm sorry, sir. Because it wasn't that man's fault. But I'm like, I'm so sorry. I was like, screw these movie tickets, everything else. Let's go. Come on. You can't be doing
I'll
that.
tell you this. I'll tell you this right now. This is for my mother's sake, and I'm going to tell you this right now, Meg. When you get to say "your Joe" instead of me, good for you. Because if my mom was like, "Hey, guess what happened with my Joe when this bald bird was in front of him, and I had popcorn," she would have been like, "Oh, he chewed up chocolate. He got it real sticky. He licked it, and then he threw it at the guy's head." So
I
my
need to
mom,
meet your mom. I need to meet your mom.
she would have had a worse time than you because I would have been like tactical and make sure they all stuck. I would have been chewing up a good bar and making sure I got enough glue.
Oh my gosh.
So you're lucky. You don't even know. No, but I understand, man. They don't have enough decorum to watch a 2-hour movie when they're 5 years old. It just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
We try, but when you
We
go to a
didn't go back again
restaurant,
till he was
they
older.
get in trouble for the dumbest stuff. And then sometimes the restaurant people are stressed enough to really get mad at your kid. And you're like, really? What'd you forget? This kid is 4 years old. You're really mad at them right now? I am, because I'm done with the day. You know how many deliveries I've already had back? They get very upset about other shit. And it has nothing to do with your kids. And then you just have to leave. You just have to be like, sorry, Mac. You know what I mean? Like, sorry.
Well, now see, I've been in their shoes also, where like sometimes it'd be like, thankfully at the strip club there wasn't kids like that. I mean,
I
it's
hope
just grown
not. Yeah.
grown
Yeah. Yeah.
motherfuckers who act like kids.
Right.
But I've worked in places where it was like, and the only time I got like kind of frustrated, I guess I didn't go yell at somebody's children or anything. I'd always go try to like talk to them, kiddish, distracted, whatever. It'd be like when there'd be all freaking day, we'd have some like a ton of little acting up kids, and
Right.
that's the only time I'm like, oh my gosh, it's been all day. That's the only time I'd ever get frustrated a little bit, but I'd still always like go and try to like calm the kid down, like kindly, like instead of like, get your butthole kid out of here, grr,
Right.
no. I'd go try to, see if I could find something to play, some silly game to play with the kid or something to get them to kind of relax a little bit enough to sit out, eat their food, and
Yeah,
they can.
yeah. No, kids really like in most cases they're not that nefarious. Like it used to be so funny in the movies in the 80s. They would always have that kid like when they got behind their parents' back, they were worse than they were before. But in reality, it doesn't really work like that. That was just funny. You know what I mean? But in reality, they're not really like that nefarious. They're not out for you. And people who
Yeah.
freak out about kids, it's like a Denny's, right? They have to decide because they're already hosting what they call a drunk rush. So they're already hosting a 3 a.m. crowd and they're making that environment there so that it's profitable. And then all of a sudden, it's a Denny's, it's 24 hours. So there's like a traveling family that have to bring their 3-year-old and 5-year-old in to eat and actually survive. And it's like, who does the waitress serve at that point? You know what I mean? There's 80% of this place is screwed up by like the minds have just left the club unsatisfied and now they want 4 pancakes, even though they had dinner 6 hours ago. You know what I mean? And then a family is just trying to survive on their little roadster, just trying to get down to the next place, you know?
Do you
And
have
nobody
Waffle
knows what to
Houses?
do. Nobody knows who's more important.
Do you have Waffle Houses there?
We do. We have a couple, and they're not right here.
That
They're on the other highways. We're on a highway, and they're on the other highways. I know where they are. I love their food, but I don't frequent them.
man, that's the if you want to watch if you want to get a show with your meal, check them out 2, 3 in the morning when you got
Yep.
waitresses fighting, somebody over here trying to cook their own shit. Like
Yep. Yep.
that's the ratchet truck stopper. Not
Right.
truck stop,
No,
diner,
no, no.
diner. That's
And
what
I
I
mean
mean.
it's a great place. It really is. They have, wonderful beguiling systems. My son and I were looking at how you set up a Waffle House plate. Like, when you put the jam down here, that means you got a biscuit. When you turn the butter this way, it means something like, it's beguiling.
But
It's a very
yeah,
hard
I've
job.
heard about that.
Yeah, it's a very hard job, and we've tried to just learn, some of that if we can, just to mental exercise, just to build our own mind. And we do have Waffle Houses. We love it, but in Maryland, we have a lot more independent places that nobody knows about, but you can get like omelets and stacks and all that good shit, and nobody ever will know about such places. But they're so much better because
Okay.
you don't have to deal with highway signs and people being like desperate. You know what I mean? You don't want desperate people to show up hungry.
Well, we have like okay, some places that you already know. There's the good one, like okay,
Right.
Chimmy Chan. You got to go to the one on MLK because the one on
Okay.
Cullen is trash. All the other ones are trash except for the one on MLK. Now, if you
Jimmy
want
Chan.
soul food, yeah, Chimmy Chan's. It's not at all spelled like it sounds,
Okay.
but just oxtails. If you like soul food, my son worked there for a little while. My Joe, because he loved him some soul food,
Mhm.
and he worked there for a while. Now the manager there, he was a crazy dude. That dude was crazy. He was always like yelling at the women for some nonsense. Like, oh, this is why I've tempted to go, like ask him if he hiring or something. But at the same time, it's like I already know I'm gonna have to fight him one day if he think he gonna talk to me crazy. We
Right,
gonna be
right,
in
right.
the parking lot throwing hands. So that's why I hadn't gone over there yet. Because he
Good.
usually always hiring, but he kind of like I can foresee having to like box.
Right.
So that's
Well, hey, look, I mean, the staffing agency that I told you about, not to call them out, but I
yeah,
hope
yeah.
that worked out. I hope that
Hey,
means
I've
something,
I've been I've been I've been checking with him, like going through stuff since shooting out. I've got a couple of emails here and there. So who
Right.
knows? Hey, it ain't been. I mean, it's only been a few days, so I've been
Right.
trying. I've been giving it a shot. So hopefully it'll
Oh,
get a
it worked
result.
great for me. I had to volunteer out. Like they had stuff for me for days. And they got me hired out every time. They would be like 6 months. to test yourself, and then the company will hire you. I
Right.
got hired every time. They never fucked that up. I mean, like, not that they could, the company would just
Right.
be like, just send us a new candidate. So I guess it was me more. But anyways, they did. They got me hired out every single time. Because once you prove yourself over that period,
Right.
they let you go. And then I know that being a staffing agency, there's probably a buyout contract. So I guess that means I was worth more than I even got. You know what I mean? So no hate on that. That was good.
Hey, everybody winning, right?
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
but
there's
easily, and like, I don't know, man. It's cool when you can take tests online to prove your skills because they're like, how can you work this software? And maybe you never saw the software and you start using it, but it makes sense, it's intuitive or something, for the public. And then they're like, well, you're a proficient user right out the gate. And it's like, cool. So if I had to do it for my job and I do it for 3 days in a row, I'll be even better. You know what I mean?
right.
When I went to 7-Eleven the first time, I worked at 7-Eleven for about 15 years on and off as a cashier and whatever. But
Mhm.
when I first went, everything that was a 7-Eleven piece had its own PLU code, 4 digits. So like numbers of 3304, 3306. Now the
Mhm.
first 2 digits would basically be your category, and then the last two would just be whatever item is 0209, blah blah blah. So, but there's a lot of numbers there that you learn. But in like 4 days, I knew them all. I knew like 4,000 unique codes in 4 days. And
Damn, that's
what
not
that
bad.
makes me think, well, what that makes me think is, and like you could categorize and like figure them out. But what that makes me think is we don't have enough letters in this language. You know what I'm saying? If we had more letters, because give me 8 days and I will learn, 6,000 different characters and combinations and things. So if we had more than our 20 or so letters, right, we could communicate a lot better. What I say to you would mean more of what I was trying to say to you if we had
Here's an
more
alternative.
characters to work with.
Here's an alternative, like that's been in practice.
Let me
Okay.
try it. Let me try it.
Well, there's this one place that I worked, and I worked back in the kitchen. It was years ago, and I had two assistants, and I mean they didn't work at the same time, but one of them, Miss Abigail, was from Mexico. The other, Miss Tai, she was from Vietnam, and she barely spoke any English at all, which I had no
Right.
problem with. We still got. She would always, Mega, what you call in English? I say, you want to know in English? I want to know in Vietnamese. So
Right, right,
she would
right.
teach me the Vietnamese. I would teach her the English. But Vietnamese is a very different. I mean, it's like okay, you have like same set number of letters, but every single word that you
You also
have,
have the inflections, the ah, or
what it's
ow, the ah, oh, ow. I know all that
it's
shit
not
too.
just that. It's that any singular word can be pronounced six different ways because it's a tonal language. So, like bo could be ghost, it could be beef, it could be like four other different things. Which I mean, okay, I guess it's a different way to make use of what you got, but
Okay,
I don't
so
know.
six, yeah, six is pushing nature because nature has the three that is amenable by four. So when you're saying six, that's even pushing nature. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. Because we have it in English too when they teach people how to do vowels, but a long time ago they have the flat, the sharp, you know what I mean? It's just like
Right?
music, right? So
Yeah,
when you
like
say six different ways, it's pushing it even beyond nature having like four inherent different ways, you know what I mean? So
right.
but because they also have the oh, they have the
Yeah,
blah,
the
blah,
little
the
the little stuffs
flourish,
in the
the
things. I
flourish,
don't
the
know the
flourish.
names for all of everything, the little accent markers,
Yeah.
but so yeah, there's literally any words you can come up with has six different ways to pronounce it. Which I
Right.
guess if you run out of letters, I guess you got to, right? I don't do
Right.
something. Do something.
Right.
So
Oh
I don't
no,
know.
I feel like we're so limited. When I really want to tell you what I'm trying to say, I can never do it. Never. We don't have enough. You know what I mean? We don't have enough time. We don't have enough letters. all of our common words are so common. I had these brilliant ladies that I grew up with. In third grade, they're teaching me how to make friendship bracelets, because the teachers say, hey, brilliant girls, I don't care what you do with your fingers. We already know you're brilliant girls. And then they're teaching me how to do stuff like make, you know, friendship bracelets off the, what do you call it? A safety pin on my shoe. And
Oh
we're
yeah,
doing
yeah,
all
yeah,
that
yeah.
stuff. What they ended up doing was cutting out articles and prepositions from their speech. They cut them out. No more articles or prepositions in their speech. You would listen to them and be like, I cannot understand what you're saying, but you did because those things are useless. These fucking women were brilliant. Think about it. If you cut articles and prepositions out of your speech, the therefores, the us, the these, the thems, they mean nothing. So they would communicate with you like that. That's what they grew into. These super soldier geniuses that they were breeding over by me came up with that shit.
Well, heck yeah. I
And you know what
mean,
else they could do? Speak backwards. And I'm not saying put the letters backwards. They put the morphemes backwards so that it was recordable.
oh wow.
I grew up with like the most razor sharp minds that you could ever imagine. I swear to you with these chicas. I'm telling you. Like
That's pretty,
holy
pretty,
shit. I
pretty
give
different
up. I
level.
left. I left.
That's
I'm not
another
dealing with
different
them.
level.
I'm not dealing with them, man. Because they'll kill me now. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I would have killed myself if I was, the 14-year-old version of myself. I couldn't stand all this compromise. But these fucking ladies were razor sharp. You know what I mean? Like,
Damn. That's a whole different level.
they conquered the world in a way that if they told anybody, they would be called crazy. But they're not crazy. Just think about it for 5 minutes. Just put it in your regular world and say, okay, I'm not going to participate. I'm not going to cut out articles and prepositions from my speech. But if I did, you know what I mean? Just entertain that thought. These people just did it. They thought it was more important. Like people who run places because they're like, you know what? I get there faster. And you're like, no fooling you. You know what I mean? You don't have to stop at red lights. You're right. You know what I mean? The rest of us, we don't even know because, if you drive over 60, you hit a red light, you hit a red light, you hit a red light, and then you're like, why am I stuck? Because it's time. You know what I mean? But these people running free with their real world knowledge and their real education and their like, I don't know, man, just their free thought that leads you to a place that you're like, that's undeniably true. But none of us can even juggle that game. You know what I mean? We can't even do it, but we can.
They sound fun.
Overwhelming. Overwhelming eventually. I can't compete. I can't compete with the brilliant people that I've met in my life. They're amazing.
I would have liked to have been able to hung out with them, I guess, for a little while, just kind of see what kind of, you never know what you might learn from
It's
somebody.
not even you can hang out with them now. I mean, like it's like you don't have to hang out with them personally. It's just
Right.
like consider what they did and like try it. Like practice it as a meditation. Like, spend a couple of days and cut out articles and preposition from your speech. It still means exactly the same thing. But there's no like stupid transition humps between things. I feel like language is an art that we should be creative and florid with and make it sound nice and we'll talk a nice way and I'll say me all the time or whatever it needs, you know what I mean? But it's all useless nonsense, all that static. And when they were just speaking straight, they were just giving you the communication. It's just something you can't adopt that, I guess. I wouldn't. But when they did it, I mean, it's just fascinating. It's mind blowing, and it also makes so much sense that there's nothing to say about it except you're correct.
I feel that.
Yeah, yeah,
Feel that. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it.
yeah, yeah. No, I don't want to have a. That's why I said like I bow out. I'm like you win because I wouldn't compete with such a thing. I'm too dumb. I'm trying to have a good time, just hang out.
My little cousin and I, we're going Scooby Doo. I found this picture in a box of just random little stuff my mom had collected and sent to me.
All right.
Pictures and this and that and the other. And I found this one picture, and it's of my cousin and her sisters and brothers, and we're trying to figure out what year it was from. But I can't find even a date on the card itself, like a manufacture date or nothing. And now it's kind of become, I don't know, a thing. Like we're
Who's
finishing
in it? Who?
Scooby Doo.
It's a photo, right? Who's in it?
Right. My little cousin that
Right.
lives in Pennsylvania, and
Hmm.
her parents and sisters and her little brother. And now it's just become a thing. We are determined to find out what year was this from. We're thinking
Yeah,
about 6 years ago.
somehow by estimating her age, you should be able to do it. Yeah.
Well, we were both unsure. So
Okay.
now it's just a thing that's kind of, we're determined we're going to figure out
Cool. Cool.
when this is from.
Show it. Show it. Yeah. If you want, I mean, like mine was a yeah.
It's got a little Santa dude. So now we're trying to figure out when was this taken. I don't know. It's just our own little personal.
Who's the blonde headed girl right there?
Maggie and Ella are both blonde haired girls. The
Okay, but
taller
one of
one,
them in the blue that's shorter here.
yeah, that's
She looks
Ellie.
about 8 or 9. She looks about 8 or 9.
I don't know how old she is right now.
Right.
I don't know. I'm bad at like
I was
who
just trying to
keeping
help
track
you,
of.
like try to time
Yeah,
period the thing. Yeah.
yeah. The only thing I can see is on the back. It's a Clever Factory. I don't know. Maybe if I like went on their website and tried to, or maybe I feel like maybe emailing them. When did you produce this card?
I
Maybe
doubt
that
it.
would
I
help.
really doubt it because
I
when
don't know.
no, printing photographs, it used to be a huge thing. Like a lot of
Yeah,
different independent companies used to do it. They'd stamp the back and they would have, of course they had to have records, but they would keep them for 2, 3 years and they would be on like microfilm or cassette or something. My uncle
yeah,
being in the IRS and dealing with that shit, they would always put it on a cassette. It's not something he could hear. It just goes chirp, 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 chirp. It's like a recording from a computer cassette that gives
right.
you the whole year's worth of accounting. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It didn't matter what it said. It just mattered that he had it in his possession. So if somebody sued them, they could bring it back up. You know what I mean? So
Right.
yeah, there's probably no way that the print company knows what they're doing because it was so many years
True.
ago and it was such big business and man, anybody who had a t-ball team, a swim team, you know what I mean, a baseball team, a
Well, no,
soccer team,
they didn't print
gymnastics.
out the picture. They printed out the card. So
Hmm.
they wouldn't have printed out the picture, but the card itself.
When they do the card.
That's what I'm like. I wonder if they would know when they like. I'm surely they would probably, maybe, possibly, be able to
They
give us some
could, but
type of idea
when I
when
when
was
I
the
say
card
when
itself made.
again, I'm going to the fact that you only keep records for a few years.
True,
Records
true, true.
become too cumbersome, like so after 5 years you drop them if you don't have to have them. So
Right.
it's hard to look back.
True, true, true. But I don't know. Maybe we'll figure it out. Hopefully, we'll figure it out. If not, you know what? At least we, kept ourselves occupied.
What's up, Macarius? Yeah, of course we did. Yeah, yeah. We're just trying to have a good time. It's no big deal.
Yeah.
Let's go on that next mission. Let's find out what's going on. Like you said, we got to talk about some supernatural more, as the months progress.
Oh yeah, because
Into the
spooky month is coming up.
That's right, like the thin veil and all.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I mean, what's your worst ghost? Oh, but you've seen like
I've
End of Life.
seen.
You've seen End of Life. Look, I saw End of Life, which was that little baby. That wasn't that great.
I mean,
That wasn't that great.
well, I'm trying to think. Like, I don't. Oh, recently when my bike patrol partner and I, okay, it was hot as fuck. It was July 4th, and we were on bike patrol, and we had went into the one area of the like um property to get out of the sun for a little bit. He recently had had a stroke. So, we wasn't trying to get, I didn't want him sick. So he's like, let's go inside for a minute. Yeah, okay. Bet we can both go in, use the bathroom, get out of the heat for a minute. And we were inside, just inside the doorway. And we'd already looked around the building, making sure like nobody was in there. So, nobody was in there. And up above, like right above us, as we're standing by this door, we hear like footsteps and scratching. And I don't know any raccoons that wear shoes, personally, but it was footsteps and then like a scratching noise,
Well,
and we're
it's
and
quite funny that you say raccoon because I have a brick from where it was curing, and there's a
mhm,
total raccoon print in it. I've kept it for so long because I was working in that, in the back, and there's all kinds of rodents and shit. But there was just that raccoon print. They were just like that triple claw, like you know what I mean? Because they're everywhere. You know what I mean? But no, they
yeah,
don't have shoes, so they don't do this part.
yeah, and I mean
Yeah.
these were not, even if a raccoon were wearing shoes, they would not have been. You can tell when it's a human in shoes as opposed to, I'm sure it wouldn't make the same sound. I mean, this sounded like a human in shoes. Like,
Right.
and we went and we looked. We went and looked up there. There's nobody up there. There's nobody else in the building. And it's like we both heard it. Like, because when it first happened, like he looks at me, I'm looking at him. Like we
Right.
both heard it. Okay,
Right. Right.
so it happened. We went to look. We went to investigate to see like you know who what, and then we were both just like, okay, there's nobody here, so we're just gonna not worry ourselves with it.
No, just
Like,
keep walking. Yeah, it's an
yeah,
impression. It's an impression from the past, Because when my wife and
very
I
possible.
we saw somebody, you know what I mean, and he was riding his bike down the same road like he always would. Hi, hey, what's up, Ace? And we go home. And when we go home, we say, "Oh, we saw Ace, you know, so and so we're living with is like he died like fucking 4 days ago." And we're like, "No, no, 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 no. Wait a minute." And we look at each other and we do that like you said. We both saw it, we both heard it, or whatever it may be. But we looked at each other and we were like, "Was he green? Was he like one color when you saw him?" Yeah, he was green, it's like first we didn't question anything, but then the second when he said he's been dead, we saw a trail of something, you know what I mean? And he was only one color left. And he probably faded away into nothing and nobody ever saw him again. But it was
Well,
just
that
like the last echo. You know what I mean? It was the
well, that's
last
what
echo.
my after my dad passed, and I saw him walk into my room. That's just kind of like he was regular colored, but he just kind of was gone. Like it wasn't just he walked out, he was just gone. So yeah, he probably just kind of like blinked out, you know.
Well,
So
once we did that together, then we saw another thing. We were driving around, just doing a real like inner city like Beltway that we have in DC, Beltway loop thing,
Uh-huh.
it was like, what the fuck just happened? Like rattle, rattle, and we both thought there was like this huge caribou, like that doesn't exist, It was like 800 pounds and just rattled our car by barely missing us back there, and we both saw it and we both felt it. And there's nothing like that. You know what I mean? It's maybe history, but not a caribou or an elk or something. Maybe a big deer, or plain deer or something. I don't know. But it just we're already driving by all the Masonic symbols of fucking DC, by the way. We got a pyramid over here and one over here and all that shit around, and what? Like we just show up in this like ancient swamp and see this shit. And if we didn't see the first thing together, we couldn't have agreed that we saw the second thing together. And then we saw the more things. And then there's just the crazy things happen with I have a wife and I have a best friend, and we have to contractually say that every time. But then with her, we've been through this shit where, something will literally disappear and reappear later. Like there's a time travel issue here. And we've been like, I swear and I guarantee. And then something will return to its previous state. I'm so sorry. I broke this. She gave it to me. And it's fixed later. And then we see like something else happen. And then we see like a portrait crying. And we're like, what in the fuck is going on here? And it's just the quote is nobody sees these things until they start paying attention to them. That's really what happens. Because we
Yeah,
had to agree, we already saw that fucked up shit. And then it's like, and then when we saw the next thing, we're like, I think that was both of us too. And I think that was both of us too. And then it just kept going. Because
that's
if you
that's what
don't
I've been
choose to see it, you never will. You know what I mean? Or you don't accept that
through.
it's there, you never will.
So now I guess we're just gonna have to keep our eye out when we're at work. See if we can
Just be open enough. Be open enough to whatever comes through.
and now since I had two people recently who passed away, I've been kind of it's been on my mind to like
For
I
sure.
wonder if they reach out, like I wonder if they you know,
Well, I
you know,
know people
I don't
do
know.
like spirit box things like that and stuff. I don't really believe in that so much, but at the same time, I mean, I don't know, man. Maybe there is something about an intention and show us a sign and something falls over or whatever. Maybe
Well,
there is. There's
me
the people
I
who've tested it with lights. They got something. They got something that I've never seen. They got something real going on. Like it seems like energy is able to like spark up a light bulb, which is just a wire filament. And I believe, by the way, that 3,000 years ago people had sodium light. I believe that in the caves they had like buckets of salt water and sort of primitive batteries that repeated on, and they had light to go into those damn caves. Because who did that artwork now? When you talk about like Egypt or something, right? We're not allowed to bring lights in there, so they use mirrors to shine it in. Who did that artwork? They couldn't see. So you really think they didn't have indoor lighting 3,000 years ago? I think they
I
fucking
mean,
did. I
they
think
had to
they
have
fucking
something.
did. Yeah, I think they did.
Something. But no,
I'm
I'm just
sorry.
like I know the spirit box stuff, I'm just kind of like not sure if I trust it. Like, okay, just because like all right, you may have contacted something or
Right.
someone
Well, no,
and it
they
might be
openly
speaking to you.
they openly say that like a spirit box thing is just collecting random radio impulses, but
And then
supposedly the intention is supposed to guide that. You know what I mean? So I
yeah,
don't
that
buy that.
whoever they've
I don't buy that.
contacted is supposed to like give you the snippet that it wants to use. But I'm just like,
No,
okay, you
your
picked it up
mind
to
is
you.
making the pattern. Your mind is the pattern making device in that case. I think.
Well, that and also like, okay, let's say something is manipulating it to give a message.
Right.
you might, and it may tell you that it's your great aunt Sally,
Mm.
but is it really your great aunt Sally, or is it something else? Maybe it's nefarious, maybe it's not, maybe it's just
Yeah.
somebody who's died, who's been bored and is trolling you now.
Yeah.
I
No,
don't know.
that'd be that's funny. That's funny. I like that because my wife and I we do talk about this, and we do not believe we don't personally believe in like, like the Joker spirit is gonna be like, since you're trying to talk to your grandma, I'm gonna say I'm your grandma. That's sort of like the Exorcist story in a way, right? Like Captain Howdy is like, I want to be your friend, but it's really like somebody hiding. I don't know. I don't think so. I think that it's more of the well, I don't think that that's what's going on. I can't tell you what I think it is, maybe. But let's say this in Solomonic lore or something, if somebody's whispering to you, it'll be like an angel stuck between somewhere and somewhere else because angels still work for the humans. And some of them are the angels that went with Lucifer, in the rebellion. And the other two-thirds are in 20,000 different religions. But either way, they're just inspiration. They just whisper to you. They just whisper to you. You know what I mean? So the way we think about it is like, no, nobody's like nefariously like, I'm going to pretend to be your grandfather and then rope you in. That's more of a novelistic idea of like
Well,
how
no,
we
and I mean,
work.
I'm sure. I mean, there may be like some instances where they're actually speaking to the person that they, you know, intend to or whatever. But I don't. I just don't trust it every time. It's like, oh, I reached out to so and so, and it was actually them that answered. I think that
Well, I don't, I mean,
there's
you can't.
definitely opportunity for other people to intervene.
It's always for
From the
it's
other
always
side.
for it's always for interpretation. I don't think you
Well,
could ever
yeah,
say
yeah.
like we are talking to Aunt so and so like ever, but I don't think that that's the funny thing is like, hey, what's up, gut rot, and what's up, jeez, I can't read that one right now. But I don't think there's like spirits that run around on Ouija boards and they're like, if you're gonna call for grandma, I'm gonna pretend like I am her. And they're like trolls and they're like, ha, got her. I don't think, but that's
Well,
funny. Because if you thought about it like the internet or like alien intelligence or artificial intelligence, obviously it's doing it already because you've already thought about it, right? So there's like 3,000 people that have already programmed such a thing. You know what I mean? Because you said it today. They already have it in place. So there are a bunch of like Ouija board trolls out there, but they're just software. Now, how do we deal with that?
hmm. Human uprising? No. I don't mean, I'm
How
being
would
silly.
humans win? Nah, we're too needy. We're bloody and hungry and shit. How are humans gonna win against the fucking artificial? Like that's not right. No, never, never.
Turn the electricity off.
Right.
I
That's right. That's right. All right. Well, good point for that. Good point.
don't
But
know.
why would we do that? We can't do that. I freaked out this stupid phone that can't hold charge anymore. I freaked out about it.
Look,
I'm like
do
waking my
you
wife up. What do I
do
do?
you want to deal with what's worse to you, dealing with 30 minutes of no electricity or internet ghosts? Do you want to let the robots take over? Turn the lights off for like a few minutes, okay?
What? Right. One time we had an electricity out, and this is like, I mean, you know, I won't lie. Like, I needed batteries, so I grabbed my little like cassette, dictation thing, and I started listening to music. And everybody was like crying about the electricity, but I walked outside and was just listening to music, and they were like, "Yeah, but there might be a problem," and I was like, "Yeah, maybe." And so I started calling, and they were like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, there's an outage, and we need to come and fix it. Call your fucking, maintenance people or whatever." And I was like, I probably would have been out there for like 3 days just until the batteries died, until I couldn't recharge them because we use rechargeables. You know what I mean?
Right.
So. Yeah, no, I mean, I can't lie, man. But also, like, if I had a little class, I would, go ahead and teach you how to make a little hand mill with magnets and then make electricity and harness that and put it into a battery, a sodium water, container. Like I said, I believe they had lights 3,500 years ago that were just sodium water containers that were batteries. You know what I mean? So I would just
Well,
teach my little class how to make such a thing. And then, of course, then you put it in and make it a mill so the water does it for you and all that. And I would just move on. I would move on with a very primitive start, but a very forward thinking civilization.
hey, a start is
Nothing's
a
going to
start.
stop me. Nothing's going to stop. But I do need electricity. So nothing's going to stop me, but I can get students. I can get students.
Oh,
Well,
but we're
thank you for.
working. Hmm?
I know you're tired now. I know.
Nah, yeah, we're working tomorrow. So hopefully, if my partner there is working, maybe we can go check out the spot where we heard the little footsteps and
Right
see.
on.
I don't know. I'll see if he's working tomorrow. He was supposed to let me know the other day, and we got distracted doing 100 different things as usual. Cause I don't know.
That's the
It's life.
ADHD
That's
life.
how it
You
happens.
know, you being productive. You're like my mom. My mom's like, "Hey, you know what I do?" And I'm like, "What?" And I was like, first of all, mom, if you make I statements all the time, I don't believe you. You sound like a New Jerseyite. You're just making I statements all day. You know what I do? I don't know, mom. What do you do? And then she's like, I multitask. And I was like, really? And which one of them do you finish? I
I feel personally attacked.
multitask. I got my fingers in everything. Okay, mom.
I feel that. I really feel
Yeah,
that. I'd be the
she
same,
does it
like
all the time.
doing
That's OCD.
47
That's
things at
I
once.
fucking inherit that, my kids inherited it. And it's hilarious because when I feel it, I feel ashamed. I feel painful. You cannot rain out a fucking baseball game. I'm like, no, it's 7 o'clock. They're gonna play. I'm walking right there, and it just keeps raining all over me. And then the hail comes, and the lightning comes, and I like lose my shoes, and I'm just like, no, I swear, we made the agreement. It's at 7. You cannot rain out a game on me. You know what I mean? And it just hurts. And that's what I've inherited. But when she says it and the sort of unawareness is what's the thing, it's like, okay, mom, you multitask. And which one did you finish? And she's like, well, does that matter? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's like,
I feel that because I'd be like
woo! She's like,
doing
woo,
17 things at
celebrate.
once, and
I'm the best.
I might finish something, maybe.
Right, right. But it's not what you're looking for. You're just looking for being really good at it, a little bit of everything. That's what she's looking for.
For
She wants to be
real.
really good at a little bit of everything.
Well, and you know what? I believe in her. Okay, I feel like she can do it. I feel like
Oh,
she
she's
she she's good at
awesome.
it all. I
She's
believe in her.
awesome. She's awesome, but she makes everybody think that, they're her best friend and she doesn't remember what she just said. So, when they come back to cash that check, she's like, what? you know? Whoops. Let them
I
go.
kind
Let
of
them
feel
go.
like I kind of feel like mom and I are a lot alike.
I bet you are. I bet you are. And no hate. I love it. I love it. You have your own Joe to deal with. Don't worry about me because I've graduated. She doesn't need to tell me, it's okay. You have your own. No, it's just funny, and I love it. I'm like not dissing her or you. Keep doing it.
It's like the intention is good. We'd be trying that the heart is in the right place. It's just sometimes, you know, trying to finish every one of the 17 things that we currently doing
Right?
isn't always easy. Okay. It's not always
Right?
easy. All right. The
Right.
struggle is real.
So the whole thing about like laying things out, it's like Right now, soon, and sometime. Just keep moving that list around.
Yes.
Right now, soon, sometime. Just
Yeah,
write
you have
those
your
three
pile of
lists.
stuff that then you have your pile of stuff like, oh crap, I should have finished this yesterday. Let me see if I can hurry it up and nobody noticed.
Yeah, yeah. Well, she thinks she can make up time in the world. Yeah, you're probably right about that. You know what I mean? She'll call you and she'll be like, "Yeah, I know I needed to be there a half hour ago, but I'll be there in a minute." She might be 3 hours away on the road, but she said, "I'll be there in a minute," because she thinks like between now and then, I'll make it up. I'll get there.
You won't notice that it really took longer than we planned. You're
So that is
not
an
going to
amazing
notice.
thing. That's an amazing thing that she does. So there you go. There you go. Yes, you might be a lot alike, and no disrespect for that.
So yeah, I feel like I like mom.
Oh, me too, man. Yeah, me too. Well, I gotta go for now.
Understood. I
I
gotta
would
go
not be here except
put
that you
my
said
bag
you put your
together.
makeup on and everything.
I
So
did.
thank you.
Look, I'm cute. See?
I
Okay.
see.
Well,
Well, no,
thank you,
no, I
Joe.
see. They see. They see.
And I gotta go get my bag ready. I laid my clothes out for in the morning, and I gotta go get my stuff together. Get it together, Megan. Don't wait till the last minute. That's what
Well,
I'm doing.
thank you for coming up. Thank you for your
Well,
time.
thank you, sir.
Of
And I'm
course,
sure
of
I'll
course.
see you again soon.
I know. And keep making your own videos, Meg.
Yeah, I just posted one a little while ago.
Awesome. I'll check it out. Maybe I'll
See you
share it up
later.
here, and that way I can put the sub up Meg, that kind of
Heck
stuff.
yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, see ya. All right, everybody, man. That was a lot of fun, man. She's awesome as always. So yeah, sub up to Meg. Got to make more of you subs so that you can share all the links in here, eh? And Tron is stuck in Flynn's arcade. Tron is stuck in Flynn's arcade. Peace out, everybody. Thank you for your attendance. What the fuck am I gonna do now? Oh yeah, I'm hungry.